All right, let's get back to Ben Shapiro.
And 2, the candidates differ race by race. So we keep coming back to the same message over and over. The only way that changes is if you actually have a non-empty shell leadership at the top of the party that is willing to put forward a program. And Newt Gingrich won a bajillion seats in 1994 because he put forward an actual program. There was no actual program that was put forward by the Republican House.
That's a good point.
And Kevin McCarthy is not an inspiring figure in any way, shape, or form. I know Kevin McCarthy, and he's a very nice person, but I don't see how you can underperform to this extent and still hope to be seen as sort of the durable leader of the Republican Party in the House. And I will say this: there's
real. He said
again,
that.
Like
That's Biden. That's the president.
The routine Mitch McConnell defender here. He spent $234 million from the Senate fund. Yeah. Donald Trump spent about 27 cents and picked 3/4 of the candidates.
Had $100 million.
No, I'm not anti-cocaine, Mitch.
By the way, I will also mention that if you actually watched, one of the most ridiculous things in this entire race was Donald Trump sent out a fundraising letter, I believe it was for Blake Masters, from his listserv, and it showed what the division of the money was that you gave. It was 99 cents to Donald Trump's PAC and 1 cent to Blake Masters. Okay, that is not raising money for Blake Masters, as it turns out.
Dude, God, I love Donald Trump so much. He is such a fucking piece of shit. Dude, he's so awesome. I'm sorry. He is such a piece of shit, bro. He literally can't. It's like the pathological liar in your group of friends, right? I've talked about this before. Every group of friend has like one guy who has to one up everybody and he has to lie. And you're like, bro, you're like a chill dude otherwise. Like, you don't have to be this guy. We know you're lying. Nope, he's still going to do it anyway. That's Donald Trump with like small grifts, okay? He can't stop himself. He's like Michael Jordan in his gambling addiction. Trump has a fucking grifting addiction, okay? He's going to grift the guy who's like holding the door for him if he can.
If the Republican Party is going to be foolish enough that there are no recriminations for the people who actually picked the worst candidates in the race, refused to fund them, and then left them out to dry while celebrating Joe O'Dea losing in Colorado, then you get what you deserve. Again, I'll vote for that guy if he's the nominee because the Democrats are worse. But you don't have to do that. You could, like, theoretically have a thought about maybe this isn't the best idea. How many times are we going to run this same play over and over and over?
Well, at least one more.
You mentioned Blake Masters, though, and we'll see what happens with Blake. But it's an interesting test case because Blake Masters and J.D. Vance were basically the same candidate with the same background, with the same backers, with the same platform, with the same actually kind of interesting departure from the old GOP stuff. And J.D. wins, and Blake is in trouble right now, and who knows when we'll find out if he wins or loses.
Well, I mean, I will give you a very, very easy answer for that, and that is that Donald Trump won Ohio with 53% of the vote while Biden...
Also, yeah, I mean, I can't believe this, but Ben is so right. You're comparing Ohio to Arizona, you fucking idiot. And also, you're comparing Ohio and a guy who was still, even if he did PR for the Marine Corps, was still a part of the fucking, machine. He was a part of the Defense Department, right? Like, he has his bona fides. Blake Masters is a poster. That's it. That's all he did. What is fucking... Blake Masters has nothing in his resume. He just is a guy with a website. That's crazy. And he also has somehow more fucked vibes than J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is a huge cuck, okay? He's like the worst kind of person. I just despise him because I can tell why he absolutely, like, I can tell the disdain he has for the working poor. I can tell the disdain he has for the people that he grew up with. He always wanted to be a cuck for the liberals, okay? That panned out in a different way for him, and now he's back, and he's just totally running the fucking Trump line. But Blake Masters is straight up a lizard person school shooter, okay? You can tell J.D. Vance is an opportunist, but Blake Masters literally has the vibes of a person who is going to shoot up a school, and also his social media footprint kind of accompanies those vibes where he routinely says, like, locked and loaded 4 days as he's posted up with an AR-15 like he's going to shoot up the polls. I think at a certain point, people respond negatively to that, okay? GOP Senate candidate Blake Masters roughs up 73-year-old Dem protester in Green Valley. Love that. Psycho. Absolute fucking freak, dude. Name one GOP politician. Wait, what? What? I just named you two. What the fuck?
Biden received 45% of the vote in Ohio, and Donald Trump lost Arizona. All they're doing is mirroring Trump's exact results in those states. By the way, Dr. Oz mirrored Trump's exact results in Pennsylvania. By the way, Herschel Walker is mirroring Trump's exact results in Georgia, almost as though if Donald Trump picks a candidate and then that person gets exactly the same percentage of the vote in those states, there is a correlation. Isn't that strange?
There is worth also pointing out the role of spoilers, which we haven't really talked about.
Oh, the libertarians.
The libertarians, because if you look right now at the Fetterman-Oz race, the libertarians got 1.4% of the vote. If Oz got that 1.4%, it puts him over Fetterman, and it actually... well, we'll see how the vote shakes out for the rest of the night. It actually theoretically could push him up to 50, but nevertheless, it would put him over Fetterman. And then you look at Warnock and Herschel Walker. The Libertarian gets 2% of the vote. That puts
the fuck
Herschel
is Fishgate?
Yeah, but you don't want to be yelling at Jill Stewart because your own
I don't even know what this is. Why didn't you pay for Fishgate? What the fuck is that?
party is.
I
incompetent,
certainly
right?
do. I definitely want to.
No, you got to be.
By the way, they called the race for Fetterman. That one's over.
That is over, yeah. Did Oz concede?
There's one other piece that we haven't really talked much about, which is the demographics
Oh my god, this dude is the worst, bro. I can't believe that they let him.
in the country
Oh, Fishgate, like when they did the cheating scandal.
from an age point of view are changing. You know, such a peculiar thing that we elected Barack Obama and then ascended another boomer and then ascended Joe Biden, who's not even a boomer. He's older than the boomers. Yeah.
They have him on there because he's the owner, by the way. That's it. Like, they're just like letting him play because he has the basketball. That's what's going on here. For those of you who don't understand, maybe you never went to the park, maybe you never had kids, or maybe you never, as a kid, like played basketball or whatever with some friends. Like, this is the guy that owns the basketball, so you have to let him play.
I mean, it's a very peculiar moment in history when you're getting older and older, generationally older and older and older, 3 presidents in a row.
Yeah.
At the same time that boomers are no longer the largest voting age demographic in the country, that now belongs to the millennials. Republicans like to say, well, but they don't vote. But over time they do. They get the millennials aren't. When we think of millennials, everybody thinks about the 20-year-old who works at your office. I mean, I have bad news for you. The 20-year-old who works at your office is not a millennial. The millennials are well into adulthood now.
Yeah, only people who are 85 years old think that, okay? Everybody knows, like, even the generational divide conversation is a silly one. I've never met, like, a 20-year-old other than all of you fucking nerds in my chat that know what a Zoomer is or what Gen Z is. Like, actual out and about Norman Gen Z people are like, what do you mean? What's a fucking Gen Z when I talk to them? I don't know if it's because, like, I'm a boomer in their eyes and they're just, like, making fun of me. But usually, like, they just don't even give a shit about that. But the only people that think, like, millennials are 20 years old are 85-year-olds.
Now they are beginning to move into the age where you actually do cast votes. It's early to see. I mean, we're going to have to see some numbers over the next 72 hours probably before we can really make any kind of claim about this. But it may be that part of what we're experiencing right now is an actual generational shift within the electorate that our pollsters do not yet know how to measure, because they've been measuring the same group of people for the last 40 years.
I agree. I think it's a big deal. I think this is the whole deal. I mean, you know, this is you are getting a generation coming up who are born into an internet world. We don't even know what this whole group. I hate to say it, but we're all too old to understand what it is to be born into an internet world. It's a changing of the guard.
Dude, they're zooted, bro. I can tell Ben is hammered. I love this.
And it really is. And I just don't think I don't think the gravity has come back into the room yet and the furniture has fallen down.
Someone said racist Foucault.
It looks like that. It's still early. Yeah. These things happen slower than the speed of podcasting.
But you know what we haven't celebrated tonight? For the first time since 1993, Guam will be sending a Republican delegate to Washington, D.C. They did, in fact, tip Guam, not quite into the ocean, but in the...
The man was a prophet.
He was a prophet. The man was a prophet.
No one knew.
Dennis, when you go on the air tomorrow, what are you going to say?
I'll talk about Denmark.
Dude, this is literally the fucking racist white guys Avengers right here, dude. It's the fucking Injustice League, dog. Holy shit, dude. What the fuck? They got Dennis Prager on the line. What's happening? Oh my Lord, dude. Holy fuck. It's awful. Bro, Dennis Prager is such a fucking villain. Look at his like shades. Even his shaders are the same color as the rest of his like all wooden room. Oh, yeah. Literally a nightmare blunt rotation. Oh, for sure. Okay, I can't watch the rest of that. That's really bad. Let's get back to CNN, see what the fuck they're up to. The League of Ordinary Gentlemen. Definitely not gentle. Oh my God. Still a fucking ad. Which reminds me, at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. Slated to increase, but not anywhere near as bad as what you see on CNN. At the top of the hour, you're going to see a 1-minute ad break for the time being. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe, which you could do for $5 or you can do for free with a Twitch Prime. We're going to quickly talk about Twitter for a little bit. So we do need to talk about that a little bit, okay? And there's GOP infighting. There's more to cover. The shades are made with dried skins of dead Yemeni children popping in the GOP circles these days. Yeah. Anyway, Yen Show, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads.